Our musician, speaker, presenter today is none other than Mark Stanton Welch. Okay, Mark, it's all you, buddy.
Yay. A moment in time, we're here. That's all I know right now. And I'm kind of being serious. Things went differently this morning. So there I was. I said, okay, I'm going to do a talk in the week of love. All right. So I came up with a title that felt evocative to me. What the heck was the title? See? The art of living is love. So it is an art. It comes and goes. It has a moment. It has a breath. It has all the things that have been shared so far. So I thought, okay, well, last year I wrote a book on love, which is kind of a laugher because anybody who knows me knows that it's been a rocky road all the way. But how do you learn best? You write the book on it. And then you start to pay attention to what's been shared, if you want to. So I figured I'd come in today with this title, The Art of Living as Love, and I would share from the book. And I would go, okay, I learned to write in 5th grade. I took Latin. And because of that, I learned to love language. And I had all this way, and I loved to write all the way through diaries, through books, through this, through that. And then eventually songwriting, and I figured, I just want to share how I write. So I went ahead and I laid out 7 things that we could talk about this morning. Usually too much, by the way, so keep track of my time. And I said, I'm going to take a select piece from each of the book, or each of the pages in the book that I want to use to underscore. And then people will go, oh my God, this is so amazing. I just really have to have this book. And I have to get the music that goes with it because it just feels so right. Okay, so I worked, I wouldn't say feverishly. I shared before that long ago I learned that the last few minutes are the best time to be creative. There's so much energy there. So you reach in, you grab it, you pull it, you put it into action, you don't doubt it, you trust it, and there it is, bada bing. Sometimes it works. But usually it delivers something. And that is the place of love, where the practice is put into place. So all was well. It was 12 o'clock last night. I had finished the last copy of creating the book on the printer. All was well. I just had to bind it in the morning, so I had to be up at 6 a.m. No problem. Okay, I went to bed around 12:15. I started to hear from upstairs. Clomp, clomp, clomp. And so I put on my little recording of my vibrational attunement because I'm just so advanced. I wanted to listen to it, and that would allow me then to ignore what was going on. So finally I get the text. Please, I have to get up at 6 a.m. I'm not sure what's going on, but this sounds like a power tool. Could you do it later in the tomorrow? The text was on silence. No notifications, right? So I had to do it again, and I did notifications this time. Surely she heard it. Somehow, 5 o'clock rolled around. I get a text at that point, sorry, we had a rat up here, and I had to hunt everything down. Really? Okay, well, so all the food stores and everything, you know, people do what they do. But it was the first of multiple gifts for me to practice the presence, because that's all the day has been. And it's amusing to me to show up here and see every religion has a name for the trickster. Some call it the coyote. Some say the leprechaun. Some say in Hawaii, the mini hoonies. They come in and they mess with things and kind of go, just to see what you do with it. And sometimes we embrace and roll and flow. And sometimes we say things, and sometimes we resist. So, of course, if I'm going to come and talk about the art, see, I can't even hold that title in my head, The Art of Living is Love, then I need to look at all the moments that don't fit my current version of what that's supposed to be. That's where the real love lies. It lies in what I do with that. Okay, so all is well. I'm up, I get the books bound. Okay, I go over, I have a little machine that binds the book. So it's over here. Now I have a plant that's been in my life forever. It has crawled from up here down across, and then I finally got it to stand in the window, the leaves, and the leaves are turning into gargantuan leaves because we like the sun. And this plant just represents so many beautiful things to me. It's the life force. So I grab the printer, or the machine, pull it over, and then all of a sudden I'm hit in the shoulder by something. My plant in the night had decided to entwine itself around this particular handle. So down comes my plant, and then it shoots everywhere out of the pot, and I'm going, oh no. So of course I started to cry because it's my treasure. And then once I cried, I said, okay, now I have to put love in motion. First I have to appreciate you, pick you up, put you back up there, pick up the leaves into pieces, leave the dirt, and go back to binding. So we do what we do. I gave love to the moment. I allowed my emotional self to be legitimate, to process any resistance, and to say, it is what it is. And when I get home, the plant and I will have a relationship in terms of seeing what's to do next. Okay, all is well. Put a It was a little ripe. Okay, I love you. I allow it. It's the moment in time. Here we are. Get my box together, make a cup of tea, because it coats my throat to allow me to speak and sing. Of course I would bring it. I set it in the box with the books I just bound. I heard the moment I set it there, it said, are you sure you want to put... Of course I am. Because I am love. Of course, I got up to the car. There's a box of little CDs on the inside. I set it down, and of course, what falls? There goes the cup. Fortunately, there's plastic covers on them, and therefore it didn't get too bad. Little juicy, but nevertheless. Okay, great. So I picked the CDs up out of the box, and of course, the box opens up in the bottom, and all the CDs fall out all over the car. I love you. I love you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to serve the moment. And one last chance to look in the mirror, and I see the quick shave I did in the shower left a little scar right here. Okay, so it went, and then I saw this great white shirt with this little spot of blood right here. I go, of course, good morning, how are you? Nice to see you. Moment by moment by moment, kept revealing itself. And I hadn't even gotten in the car to count. Hello. I get in the car, and it's as if my life, the 26,635 days I have been alive, why would I know that? My biorhythm thing said, you've been alive 26,533 days. And I go, wow, what did I do on the 10,000th day? All of that space brought me to the moment where I got in the car. What I did with those moments in the car was a result of choices made along the way. I've made some really powerful choices, and I've done some really ugly stuff. First thing I see in the sky are some call them chemtrails, some call them contrails. I get a little irritated by all that in the sky, but it's kind of pretty. My mother, just before she died, she said, I will let you know that I'm here when you see two trails cross. What do I see the minute I make my turn? I see the crosses of the trails in the sky. Now, I'd love to say it was a beautiful moment, but what was triggered was the memory of what I was taught about love and about what love was not. So, of course, nick yourself, drop things, nothing works. Hey, Mom, thanks for the memories. So I felt that, and of course I cried down the highway. And of course a car came up very close behind me, kind of pushy. You know how that happens? And I resisted, and I resisted, and I said things I didn't want to say, but I think I was talking to my mom. Because that's what was laid in my lap. I could ignore it, I could embrace it, I could stand in the love, because that moment was where the art is. The spontaneity of it, the vision that just pops out of nowhere, the improvisational moment. What to do with this? Let me do this. Let me try that. Over here, chemtrails with one cross in the sky. Over here, the ocean and the beach on this side as I'm driving from Cambria. Peace, calm, chaos. Another cross in the sky. It's like one jet turned around and crossed over the trail of another, just for me. I got to remember what I was shown about how love is. And I look out here, every one of us has a story. Every one of us got information about what love was. We come in this amazing incarnational moment where we have the template. We know the big picture. And then we get introduced to families and the things that occur with the various individuals, the culture, etc., and we get honed to have a different viewpoint. Moments in time that feed the next moment, that give us a new version of how to love. I was a musician at San Luis Obispo for most of my life. And it's no secret that musicians are kind of playful with the audience, and you know what I'm trying to say. There were relationships that came and went. Did they have meaning in the moment? Yeah. But not long thereafter, I had to get away from that. So I hope this is being recorded, because I'm kind of joking here, because I'm probably going to say something here, but I had to leave before the sun came up. I couldn't face the moment of how I felt like I had really used somebody, and for what I didn't know. But crossing the sky, that's what I witnessed growing up. So, of course, that's what I do. But it never felt like it was okay, and it really wasn't. And I apologize over and over to anyone who had fallen into that kind of treatment. I had to learn to love differently. And still I stumble and fumble. And my moments give me something with which to practice. So I show up here this morning, under the influence of what I've experienced on the journey here, going, I have no idea what to say. And all this time I've talked, and I have this beautiful talk right here that hasn't even been looked at, because right now it's hollow to me. Not that there's not beauty, but if I don't acknowledge the truth of these moments and own them, then I'm just going to repeat over and over. And a lot of us live lives where we repeat over and over. That comfort zone is pretty seductive. but it also keeps us just kind of going. Leaves in the pond, an eddy, round and round and round. It feels great for a while. Yee-hoo! Yeah, this is great. This is great. Hey, wait, I've seen that. Wait, what? What? And then it becomes stale. Love does that. It massages the moment enough to force us to have to choose. And that's kind of all we get is the choice. What are you going to do, grasshopper? What are you going to do? You can stumble, you can fumble, you can do all of that, which I've done. And then moments happen where you step right out of it and you do something different. What if you were the only one on the planet? Not that we're all not here, but what if this was your movie, the entire thing? You orchestrated how things showed up. And there's talk and ideas that that's exactly what's going on. Why would I put myself in this kind of a situation where I am creating what we call pain? Because pain is that teacher. It gets my attention to knock me off the track and the comfort zone that I was in. And I have the choice, do it or don't. It's all good. Because if you don't, it'll come around again. Might have a different face on it this time. But it's going to come around and say, I love you so much. I love you so much that I want you to rise above that vibration. Will you? No. Not yet. Okay. Smack, 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 smack. How about now? How about now? Okay. I've had enough. I've had enough. I don't know what brought me to New Thought, but it felt like what it was when I got here. It felt so familiar that I went, of course I want to feel love for me. Mom, as much as she tried, she had to wade through her own stuff. Bless her, and you know what I would say. And that's all the forms of love. That's the beauty of it. It's the juxtaposition of the joy and the sorrow that makes the moment eternal and rich. And I want that. I didn't think I signed up for smooth sailing. Next time around, when I go back to the Pleiades, or wherever I came from, I wanted to sing songs this morning. I wanted to share all that, but life got in the way. The moments got in the way and said, this is where you must go. I'm shooting from the hip here. I'm remembering my moments. And whatever comes up is totally legitimate. It is. Because it's giving me a new frequency. And in this moment, I can stand in that and feel it and let it do its work and push things from the root up and out, and the tears could fall. And I think I said this before. When I finally started crying in my life, it took 26 years to really get into it. But I let that first tear fall. And I think I shared this. It went over the jawline, went right to there, and it headed south. It went right down to the belly button where the wounding was, where those forms of love that didn't love held out and said, I love you. Please come home. Come home. Let's clear this. And as Richard knows, the music was the vehicle that cleared so much of that. The day I walked into Unity and this man was there, I knew I was home, and I knew that all I could do was to want to do what you did. I wanted to share from that place. Has it served me through the years? Oh, yes. Has it been a source of difficulty? Oh, yes. All of that. But how rich it is. We could all get up here and talk and share the uniqueness and the magnificence of the journey we have been on and know full well that it all led to right here Here I am, and in the next breath, I don't know who I'll be. That's the beauty of it. I get to get reborn in every moment. In the new frequency that I've created, that's the art of living as love. Finally, he gets a title in. Isn't it grand? Isn't it grand? To witness what I witnessed on the highway coming here and going through what I did, and then to be able to stand in the middle of it and then to say, hey, this is the grist for the mill in the moment. Let's talk about this. I don't know what your day was like so far. Mine didn't turn out the way I thought it was gonna. And then in the big picture, thank you, Cosmos, for that. You've delivered mightily. So I let go of pictures made up through my life. And I reclaim the pictures implanted by light. I know love is all. Love is all. Love is all there is. Yes, I let go of pictures made up through my life, and I reclaim the pictures implanted by light, 'cause I know love, it's all. Love is all, and love is all there is. I've had to, as a result of life taking a turn in 2020 and being forced to stay at home alone, which is kind of a laugher because I live alone anyway. I have to stay home by myself now? Of course. Okay, thanks. And I think I've shared before what I chose to do with that. I chose to finally find out who I was and take the blinds off the mirror and start looking at myself again and going, okay, you took so many roads, and now who do you want to be? Who are you? So the moments show up like that. Boy, I just got lost there for a moment because I was home at the beginning of being told I had to stay home. I didn't like that at all. But I soon decided there's something very important here. And I started to pay attention. I didn't like what I saw at all, because I saw how much pain that caused, not only to me, but to others. And boy, did I do New Age guy real well. I knew everything. Oh yeah, I know that one. Do you want to know more about what that's about? Oh yeah, I could tell you about that. And I honestly was just wanting to hear it from me. Somebody help. But it took a while. I was going to talk about all these magnificent elements about the way love is, the true design, the celestial picture, and I was going to give all that information, and I was going to wait until I saw people starting to look at the clock. All right, and so I got my first cue there that I better hurry up here, but I was going to do that, and then I was going to talk about once I had the nature of love, which you all know, I've heard it already in the service so many times, these reinforcements of it. Yes, yes. And then I was going to juxtapose it against the way it's been and how we've been conditioned in the culture and how love has taken a back seat to actually being kind. When's the last time somebody said, excuse me, when I walked in front of you? I don't know. In the market, does it happen anymore? Excuse me? I do it. People look at me like, what are you talking about? People my age, it's like we forgot. But that's another piece. So I was going to paint that picture that we all know. And then from there, I was going to go into the magnificence of what relationship can teach, as if I know anything about that. But I had some ideas, and I was going to share them, which then would lead into the beauty of self-love. Self-love would then be living as love. And then it would move into the idea of how can I be in that open-hearted space all the time. And from there, deposited lovingly in the land of unconditional love, where I could have anything happen and be totally okay with it. Kind of like the way this morning was. All kinds of S came down. And here we are at a moment in time. I think I'm going to bring it to a close. I don't even know why I have this guitar, but nevertheless, I wanted to share something here that it kind of comes down to the longevity of being present with someone. Little children want someone to be there all the time. They want to know they're cared for. They want to know they're valued. Occasionally that happens, at least in the way I walked. That happened. And as time went on, we started to bring people in. Some had longevity. Some said, hey, and then out the door. That's the beauty. So I wrote this on a Valentine's Day card to a dear friend. And I'll close with this. When it all comes down to the moment after all has been played out and the crowds have gone home, there is just love. It watches on while the rain blinds the scene, holds space when it is forgotten, breathes deeply when it is cursed, blossoms again at the slightest hint of kindness and touch and compassion and letting go. No thing done by living by any human soul can tarnish the infinite beauty of love's design. That's a good one for these times. It carries on when all hope is lost. It tags along when one turns away from another, finding fault for a thing said or done or thought out loud. It always smiles in a deeper knowing and stays by the road just ahead. It calls out when fault-finding sandblasts the moment, when anger infiltrates the voice and sends daggers and darts, when the holdings of the unreleased past become too big a cross to carry anymore. Yes, it calls out and says, remember me. For that is what and all you are. So much more than this forgetting. In the end, nothing much matters except the showing up. Witnessing one another as the form crumbles, holding space while one runs away for a bevy of reasons, love sticks around. Never really ever going away. For the tendrils of that love are so strong, that connection so weathered by fire and brimstone, so used to the dance that it smiles and holds the high watch, knowing everything is okay. Everything is okay. So I know I'm out of time, but I'm going to ignore the one who has the clock. And I want to start a song because this just says that. I'm standing in a line. I turn, I catch the person's eyes. I can turn away, or I can give a smile. It's my chance to make a difference, to brighten up a day. I see the God within. I send a precious love bouquet. A man is seeking money. He's living on the street. And I see his sign and I judge. I'm thinking he'll drink instead of eat. So I start to turn the corner. And I turn to see his face. And I see the God within him. I place 20 on his plate. Throughout the day, moments meant for me. Throughout the day, life just lays him at my feet. And she says, have compassion, she says. Take a risk, and she says, go on, love the one you're with. She says, go on and love the one you're with. So that's the art of love. Here's the moment. What are you going to do? No exceptions. They keep coming.